No audio, or am I crazy? No audio, or am I crazy? No, there's audio. Fuck. Let me just go through the story fast. No, today is not the concert. The concert is on May 3rd. Hello. I'm not the happiest guy in the world currently. I'm just streaming, so I can force myself to like optimize the time I'm awake for the next few days. So I might have a little bit of an attitude, not gonna lie. So just sorry in advance. But like my head's pounding. Min-maxing sleep? Yeah. The problem is I need to sleep later to wake up at the correct times because I don't sleep enough every single time. I'm having issues sleeping. Oh, I don't play Bleach. Huh? Caved and pulled Dahlia? Congrats.
Mechatron you built with your own hands will now
Less than
stand
2 weeks
proudly in the
until we see
center of this hall.
Gilgamesh.
The
It's
great
closer to
hero of
1
the
week now.
Astral Express has graced this place.
Because it should be May
Behind him
3rd at the end of the
has even
concert.
contributed their own inspiration to the completion of the Mechatron statue. What outstanding promotional material this is for the marketing department. A new hero is born right here. Step forth, Mr. Little Raccoon, and become the guardian of Plain Arcadia.
So if one of them is free, I doubt it. It's definitely possible, especially now that it's more likely it's in 4.4, but I don't know. It would be cool. I'd take it.
Powerful wish power supply entity.
Look,
I think the motto I kind of have is like keep expectations low.
full body armor. A steadfast, what a powerful strike.
So that you don't get disappointed, you know?
This strike carries the hope of all citizens. Hi-ya! Our hero got blocked by an illegal building. City, what are you doing? Choice left. Smash it to pieces, hero. Just focus on dealing with the city crisis and let Madame Pearl worry about Duo Mansion City has made it through the worst of it.
Tactician, I'm gonna be dead honest with you, bro. Don't
Or
do
wipe out
this
the
today.
monsters entirely. Hero, you decide.
I'm just being dead honest. Don't do this today. You can do this any other day. Don't do this today.
The monsters that
I
were
don't have the
fighting
patience.
seem to have been reduced to nothing.
Let the two of us see what you're made of.
Come on, one and only trailblazer.
As expected with the Astral Express.
Frank, I'll leave the rest to you.
The honor is mine to cross blades with you.
As heroes, we'll never back down.
No, he's not gonna power creep. I'm doubtful if they'll even make the vertical investment good, going off of the other fake lab characters.
Even the invincible Little Raccoon. Listen, those are the people's wishes.
Everyone's wishes. I've received them all. Trailblaze infinity!
There was a fake collab part 2 would already be announced. Guys, the last fake collab was not announced on a Patches live stream. It was announced at the end, surprise announced at the end of a concert, the anniversary one. You can maybe say this after the anniversary concert happens, but until then, it's just dumb. We had leaks that the fake collab was happening part 1. People said it was fake because it didn't pop up. and then it got revealed during the Annie concert. The exact same thing is happening right now. Part 2 gets leaked, Gilgamesh and Rin. It's not on the Annie patch, so people think it's fake. And the anniversary concert is legit a week away.
Blue, yellow. You guys were amazing back there. If we record this for pro.
Well, that about.
Cavies would really take off.
Fake collab announcement was announced years. Yeah, but the characters weren't. The content of the collab was not leaked at all until the anniversary concert.
Please inform Madame Pearl that the 3 guests from the Express will arrive shortly.
Like, the leaks already said that it was Saber and Archer, and people thought it was fake until it showed
Pearl
up in
demonstrated the
anniversary
full
concert. It's the
process
same
of
thing with
creating a
Gilgamesh and
Mechatron
Rin.
army, based on what I saw.
I mean, Silverwolf can do fine without Sparksy. The one she really needs is Yao Guang.
I was thinking of having Pearl
I saw that, like, Silverwolf's Lycone is apparently only, like,
Are you talking?
what was it, like 17% better than the free-to-play option?
Almost there.
I don't know. I feel like
More happiness.
they've high-key reduced Lycone reliance with Elation in comparison to Rem characters.
I got called into.
I mean, yeah, but that's E2, Bronzy, like...
Looks like it's about.
The speech is over. What's your take?
Remember.
Did you say Sparksy was like the Evernight to SP Silverwolf? But now she's replaceable? She isn't replaceable. Once again, I've said this a million times. Evernight
Time to get to work.
was only a 15 to 20% upgrade for Monorem when it first released, and it wasn't finished at E0S0. Sparksy is more than what Evernight originally was, or intended to be, as an upgrade. And Nihilux isn't in the game yet.
Fair warning. I'm out of practice. If you get hurt, it's your problem.
Like, this is just brain dead.
Don't hurt at all. Mr. Ashvale, stop.
Don't be rash. Embrace a new life. Darkness with me.
I'm sorry, Mr. Ashvale.
This is why I don't get it. Like, there's no point in speaking on a team where probably one of, if not the most important member for it, isn't even released yet. You know?
May death protect us.
Like, Mono Rem without Hyacine is a shit show. to put it lightly. It's a shit show.
Time to hurry and get some answers from these people while they're still on the ground.
And people always say, oh, but the Elation characters aren't HP scalers. Well, no. However, they'd benefit as much from a best in slot sustain as the HP scalers. Because being Elation in of itself gives massive benefits towards other Elation characters. Like, just being Elation. Not even including the kit. Which is very similar to like Hyacine. Oh, you're healing me. That's perfect synergy with HP scalers. The same thing applies to more Elation characters on an Elation team.
So,
Hey, you two. Why the long faces?
Some people will say like, oh, you're playing future rail, but like hardly. It's just obvious rail, you know? Like there's no way they want to not make a dedicated sustain for the Annie team. Let's get a little real here. I mean, there's a reason Ho-Ho's Nova Flare is ass, right? Like, they want to make Ho-Ho more easily replaceable. Why are you bringing up Firefly? Literally, why? It's just not the same. Once again. And you're literally bringing up the thing I just proved wrong. Of Cassie benefits more because HP scaler from sustain. Elation benefits a ton from just having other Elation. And there's no speed buffer in Elation currently. Like, why are you even bringing up Firefly? It just isn't the same. It's not like putting Ling Sha has some inherent benefit automatically without including her kit like Elation does.
An exhibition to get. This place is rich with the sweet scent of flowers.
I mean, yeah, there's Yaoi too, but they're definitely going to make Nihilux a speed buffer probably.
Three, two.
Okay, tell you who sits next to me.
Wow.
So how's that for pure love?
Hey, little rack. Nice to see you again.
No worries. This material will do.
Avanessia. What is she doing here?
The biggest team for Action Advancer, they're not going to release an Action Advancer. It doesn't matter.
Mine's ready.
It's the same as Mono Rem.
Did that guy just pass out?
I get what you're saying. It's similar to like the, oh, imagine if E2 Firefly had a consistent Action Advancer. She'd be the most broken break DPS by a mile. But like, they've never released that. And it's like the same goes for Mono Rem. The same is probably going to go for the Elation team. Because if they release like an Action Advancer, like deadass, you'd just kick Sparksy out. Like, no offense, but you would just kick Sparksy out if you had a consistent Action Advancer who could keep up with Silverwolf. Unless you had an Action Advancer who powercraft Robin and could do team-wide AA multiple times in a row, but that would just break the game's balancing, so they would never release that. At least not now, or anytime soon.
If it isn't... Ladies and gentlemen, the guests from the Astral Express are about to make their entrance. Get ready to make some noise!
I don't think it'll be broken character. I think it will be a broken character. I really feel like so many people are underestimating it. There's no speed buffer. Being Elation inherently means you have way more passive punchline generation, making Silverwolf's damage and Eidolon investment way more consistent. And then you also have verticals tailored for the team, like Hyacine S1. Hyacine S1 was like the most glazed Lycone throughout the entirety of Ampha.
Welcome aboard the Fluffy Shuttle Express. Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard the Fluffy Shuttle Express. Together we'll trailblaze into the future.
It wouldn't be 10 to 15%.
The audience is
It would be more.
Their wish power is even crystal. Welcome aboard, passengers. The Fluffy Shuttle Express is about to depart. Next stop, Xianzhou Lafu Exhibition Area.
The best thing I can say when it comes to this is this same mindset that people have around Nihilux, whoever the Elation sustain is not mattering that much, is the same mindset that people use to doom Yao Guang's value and made her go so underrated. Despite the fact that, as you now know in Calx, it shows that, like, these, you know, DPSs barely function without Yao Guang, right? It's the same thing here. You guys are focusing too much on, like, pure amp, pure buffing, pure this and pure that, and then ignoring the synergy with gimmicks when it comes to Elation. So you kind of got your focus in the wrong places, in my opinion.
We're approaching the Xianzhou Lafu Exhibition Area. Please remain seated and hold on tight.
Nah, I don't see Sustainless winning for Elation at all.
Exhibition area. The next stop is the
Why do all the reporters
What an exquisite Xianzhou outfit. Holy mo.
I mean, who do you even have to play with Sustainless with, like, EMC? Like, no offense, but EMC is trash. Like, I don't know. EMC is just garbage. It's so easy for Nihilux to be better than EMC. It's disgusting. Like, I don't know if you guys remember, but, like, EMC, when they had that 12% speed buff on their E4 or E6 that they could give to an ally, was a lot stronger than current EMC for Silverwolf. And that's a 12% speed buff. A premium sustained speed buffer would instantly outvalue EMC, not including anything else that she provides or any of her other vertical investment. It's just so easy to get rid of EMC. Like, you just said that just being Elation provides huge benefits, which is not true because EMC is dog shit. It is true. EMC being so dog shit, yet still being the best MC option for Elation teams, is proof that just being Elation can massively carry your value in a team. Like, if you remove Elation from EMC, he is literally a useless unit, almost. Like, he goes from nearly useless, if not just useless for the most part, without the Elation path, to actually usable alternative to Sparksy. Because he's Elation. you sure Asta isn't just better? I mean, dude, like, what are these conversations? Do you guys seriously think Asta is going to be better than the premium Elation sustain for the anniversary team? Like, this kind of just, I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, these are some wild ass predictions. I was talking about EMC. Oh, EMC. Is Asta better than I don't think so. I don't think so. No, yeah. I remember looking at the calcs for Silverwolf, and like, yeah, Asta is usable, and like if you have EMC on an or MC on another team, but I don't think she's better than EMC now. I think people only usually use Asta with EMC when they're trying to like cheat cost for a low cost clear on something, is usually how it goes. So like, for example, if you're trying to cheat cost on Endgame that shills punchline so you don't need Sparksy, you end up going Silverwolf, EMC, Yao Guang, and Asta is usually how it goes. If you're trying to cheat cost against shield endgame. So that's why a lot of people use Asta. Asta gives speed? Yeah. Asta's the only speed buffer in the game, which is why she's getting used with Silverwolf. There isn't a single limited speed buffer in this game yet. I guess the closest you can maybe get is Saridra. Saridra gives a 20 speed increase, flat, and Ruan Mei kinda, but like none of them that specialize in it, I should actually say. There's none that specialize in it. Which makes sense. Like, they're obviously going to reserve like a specialized limited speed buffer till much later in the game and not earlier. Because it would break the power creep a lot more.
She's gone.
Unexpected people.
You can count Hua with their E1s. I don't want to count Hyacines because Hyacines is an E2. Hua I can see the vision because she's on the golden token shop. Like, most free-to-plays would be able to eventually get her E1. But yeah. I fucking suck. Man, I'm tired of all these fucking things. Oh yeah, Ho-Ho's garbage. Once again, this is why, like, I really don't like judging the Elation team's power. And, like, a lot of people trying to be like, oh my god, look at how underwhelming this team is in comparison to Mono Rem. Because it's like, none of the sustains in the game do anything for Silverwolf. Absolutely nothing. Before, Ho-Ho at least did a little bit, right? She did a little bit because before in like earlier betas, Silverwolf was attack scaling, and she had like attack conversion to Elation, and Wolf's ultimate buff works for that, and that was it. Even then, it was still copious back then. It's like extra copious now. Like there's literally nothing. Donhung PT is a basic attack bot. Hyacine is just there for like a little extra damage. Like nobody does anything for that team. Meanwhile, Mono Rem has fucking Hyacine. You know what I'm saying? How Elation will be without chill? Well, it'll probably be fine when they get their sustain, which is my point. Which a lot of people are kind of ignoring in this entire thing, which is like, once again, just being Elation will probably make it so that now in the premium team, even at E0, your punchline gen is just highly consistent outside of shield content. Right? So it fixes that issue right quick, without even including anything else in her kit. The kit will actually have to be good. I mean, the kit... Nihilux could do as much as what Donhung PT does for his best teams in comparison to other options, then also have the benefit of being Elation, and the team's damage DPAV would probably increase by a minimum of 30 to 40%. I'm not even going to say Hyacine. Like Donhung PT for Phanon over other options, cost versus cost. If Nihilux matches Donhung PT value for her best team, she will be a like 30 to 40% upgrade for Elation. Not even Hyacine. If she's a Hyacine, it'll be more like Yao Guang Reliance. I mean, I just really don't think so early. You need to understand, Phanon is literally the only... Phanon is the only Ampho DPS of the entire lineup that is able to run Generalist Harmonies because of the way his kit works. There isn't as much synergy with random buffing Harmonies and supports with Silverwolf because of her unique gimmick of appreciating speed more than anything else. Like, if you make a speed buffer, automatically, that character is way, way higher value for Silverwolf. Like, they can do less, and they'd still give more to the team just because they're a speed buffer. And they synergize with Silverwolf. Not the same as Faye. Faye can just eat anything. You know, he can eat any buff equally. That increases his damage, and he won't care. He's indiscriminate. I really think you're overestimating the speed buff. I mean, I'm just not. Like, brother, EMC was toe-to-toe with Sparksy when he had a 12% speed buff. That's so low. Like, and now Sparksy is like 20+% better. Now that the speed buff is gone. Like, you could, like, bro, if they make Nihilux, this is a low ball, by the way. E2 Hyacine with a 30% speed buff, it's genuinely just over. Like, Sustainless wouldn't be better. And that's only that buff, right? This isn't including the passive punchline gen. She's gonna have her own Elation skill. She's gonna have her own unique buffs, probably, because of the leaks about her being like. You guys are like, you guys think Nihilux is literally just gonna do nothing. Like, she's gonna sit there. She's gonna have absolutely nothing unique. She's barely gonna provide any fucking value. And I don't know, she's fucking 10% better than Huohuo. Like, I don't know, man. No, who said that? That is the only way you can get to this conclusion. I thought Pearl was a sustain. No, this is just a mass hysteria that a lot of people have been pushing. There's literally 0 leaks about Pearl having anything to do with Elation. Not a single one. What is this damage? Forceful damage reduction by the story mode, so that I don't kill it too fast. That's it, they usually do this. What's that, Ling Sha? I mean, dude, you guys are comparing the worst premium sustain for a team in the history of the game and back in 2.x to what is going to be 4.x sustains who have to be an upgrade over 3.x ones, who have already begun and some even surpassed the gap of a sustainless option being better. Like, this is why it's so confusing to me. Like, you need to make Nihilux a Ling Sha, basically. And even then, she'd still be better than every other sustain option. But you need to make her a Ling Sha for her to, not be better than Sustainless. That's what you need to do. And it's like, you really think, or are banking, that it's likely they're going to make Ling Sha 2.0 for any Elation team? You know what I'm saying? It's so unlikely. It's just so out of this world unlikely. I can't put any, like, merit into it, you know? It undermines Yao Guang's E2. No, Yao Guang's E2 still matters. 'Cause it doesn't matter. Like, Silver Wolf's speed cap, like Elation to speed to Elation cap, is incredibly high. Even if Nihilux buffs like 30+% speed, she still isn't hitting the cap. Like, you could still benefit from the speed buff from Yao Guang, and on top of this, the like Elation buff that Yao Guang gives the entire team also increases her own Elation, which increases her own Elation team conversion. Right? You still get value, nonetheless. Like, this is the equivalent of saying that Cass S1 is now mid because E2 cast will action advance her anyways the second she gets her ultimate. You know what I'm saying? Like the 12% action advance at the end of cast exploding her dragon is now null because of the fact that her E2 works like that. Like they don't really see it that way, you know?
Surely that did the trick. Reboot. Self-repair. Must bring happiness. With everyone, we'll be happy.
I offer my blood to consume this vendetta. I offer my heart to shoot down this injustice. I, lead Hunter La Mancha, call upon you in the name of the Star Hunt Oath. O Skybow, gaze upon this broken-legged wolf and steer my hunt toward victory!
So happy. Now arriving at Terminal Station, land of sneering gods. Welcome back into the gods' embrace.
Shh. Quiet now. It's time for bed.
No way Nihilux gets 30% speed. That would be way too unfair. Are you guys like... Are you guys actually crazy, bro?
Are we still alive?
The sin-wish
Like, I cannot tell if I'm getting trolled or not.
Glad to see that you're...
There's someone
1.x 4-star is gonna have a bigger speed buff than Nihilux. Nice.
over here. Keep going forward. Come.
No way people are actually saying that. I mean, that's basically what's being implied here. It's the only way you can make Nihilux bad for Elation. She has no good unique buffs for the team at all. Her speed buff is underwhelming. And then the only redeeming factor of her is that she's Elation. So, like, you fix probably the punchline issue outside of Shill and, like, boom. That's it. I don't know, like a 10%, 15% upgrade over Huowa, and that's it. I don't know, man. Like, keep in mind, it's likely that Nihilux is going to be a main push, which is what makes a lot of these assumptions even more wild. She is the most likely candidate to be the main push, the third one for this version.
I come to appraise. I come to analyze. I come to render. I weave the cosmos into brocade, breathe soul into painted stones. Let the jewels of heaven rise as they will. All for the Amber Lord.
I ain't crazy, just 30% speed is an Eidolon 2-level buff, not a base thing. If the character specializes, you could make this argument with Hyacint's healing, which is why it's so dumb. Hyacint is the best healing sustain in the game by an absolute fucking mile, and you could make the argument that her sustain capabilities could be sold in another character's Eidolons. But the point is, because Hyacint specializes in HP scaling, that is why she is as good of a healer as she is even at base E0. The same thing would apply to a sustain. Yes, for sustains who don't specialize in speed, having a massive speed buff in an Eidolon makes sense. But if your entire thing, your entire team is built around wanting speed, your dedicated team, and you specialize in speed buffing, having a big speed buff isn't out of this world, right? Like Hyacine has this godlike healing. She is the most consistent healer, and then also has a 50% max HP increase, which is absolutely perfect for her HP teams. Once again, you need to assume that Nihilux is like Lingshot, basically, for her team. For her to be like as ass as some of you are making her out to be.
We meet again, Ashen Detective.
She only gives 20% HP. Isn't it a 50% max HP increase?
This entire...
Oh, it's a 30%. I think it's because I have her E1 that it's a little more. Right? Oh, wait, no, I don't have her E1. Yeah, it's E1 that's 50%, but it's 30% at base. Okay. So it's a 30% max HP increase. Heal back every time your allies gets attacked. The best healing in the game. Damage output. More than that. I mean, dude, how big is... Like... This is level 1. $53 flat. 53 flat with a 200 speed Silverwolf is a 25% speed increase. Nearly 30%. Like, we really think, some of you genuinely think, it's impossible for a sustain to have a base speed buff because it would be competitive with 1.x 4-star Asta. And that would be too broken for a sustain. What about E2 Yao Guang? It's a dead Eidolon? No, it isn't. It just isn't. The entire rest of the team gets a speed buff that doesn't scale off of speed. Silverwolf will likely... Like, you can focus on more crit stats. You can focus on more other stats if you are truly, like, capping out your speed. And you've already hit a certain threshold. Like, once again, a full E0 cast team has really good synergy. I will tell you this. As someone who has E2 Cassie, the light cone that gives 12% action advance on Cassie's light cone, that shit is useless. Like, it genuinely becomes useless at E2 for Cassie, because in Mono Rem, 90% of the time, if you do not have E1 Hyacine combined with E2 Cassie, the light cone action advance actually literally has like 0 value. It does absolutely fucking nothing, because you always get Cassie's ultimate like right before she takes her turn. And so this is why this argument doesn't make any sense to me. Like, are we now going to say you shouldn't get Cassie Lycone, or Cassie Lycone isn't that high a value because it diminishes the value of E2, or the other way around? Like looking at vertical investment this way is just kind of useless. It doesn't really work like that.
Get him! Set whatever I keep going. Thank you so much for your help this time.
This convo is dumb. I mean, like, dude, I'm just trying to make sense of this. The way you guys talk about, like, Elation's final piece is like they don't matter. You know? Like, it's likely they just aren't going to matter. Like, this is the yearly anniversary team that gets the most shilling, which obviously means they have, like, the most synergistic teammates. And we're just assuming that this character is going to come out like some fucking hot steaming pile of dog shit. Which is what makes this conversation so interesting. Because to me, it is blatantly obvious that this final piece to Elation is getting heavily underestimated. Not just by my chat, right? What makes this conversation interesting as well, this is like a common consensus a lot of people have on social media, where they're like already downplaying the final piece of Elation, assuming it's not going to make a difference. You are fighting ghosts? You are assuming Sustainless with EMC is likely to be better than the final piece when Nihilux comes out, or Nihilux is barely going to improve over Sustainless with EMC. That's what I've been getting from your entire thing for a while now. Sustainless with Elation will likely stay better. Show where I said that? You were saying it earlier, that you think Sustainless will be better. And that Sustain will be more cozy and comfortable, but it might not be better. Huh? Sustainless is better for every Ampho character except Casterus. I really think you're overestimating the speed buff. But we'll see. I think it's going to be a Phanon case, meaning that the Sustain can get you to current Sustainless performance, but a limited harmony will be much better, like Tribi for Phanon. That's your chats. That is you saying you think Elation is going to be similar to Phanon, where the Sustain won't be able to close the gap on Sustainless. Or maybe at max will match it, and not any further. Limited harmony? I mean, there isn't a limited harmony in the game right now that is like Sparkle maybe, but I think EMC comes off in like the lower cost shit. Like that's the thing, there isn't a limited harmony. The only one is Buff Sparkle, which is the closest. And she's like maybe barely better than EMC, if not even better than EMC in Sustainless for Elation. Which is why I'm confused. Like, I don't know, man. This just reminds me a lot of, like, the Yao Guang talk. Of, like, oh, I don't think Yao Guang's gonna be that much better than other options. Because, like, just from seeing it right now, without the future characters kit, it doesn't look special. It doesn't look all that special. It just feels the same. I'm not gonna lie. Which, like, yes, this could always be the case, by the way. I'm not saying it's, like, impossible for them to, like, suddenly make a Lingshot 2.0. But, as always with me, I like talking about things and, like, likelihood, right? Like, what's most likely? I mean, there's just, in my opinion, I'm not going to change my stance on this. Sustainless is never going to be better for Elation throughout this entire version whenever they get their final piece. It could be Nihilux. It could be Pearl, maybe, like a lot of people are speculating. I don't know. I do not think the final piece of Elation will lose to a random Sustainless team. I truthfully don't. You guys can think differently, though. That's fine. I mean, yeah, if you take AA into account, unless you brute force incredibly fast, you're just going to die without a sustain. Like, obviously. But here's the thing. A lot of people in my chat know this. Personally, I don't care about AA. I really do not like AA in this game. Especially with, like, I knew they would do this at some point. The night difficulties have just gone up fucking crazy in the last few patches. Which I knew they'd do at some point. So it's like now finally that Endgame that people kind of use to really test things. But at the same time, shield can really badly hurt a team's performance in AA because they're trying to shill. I guess now we wait 6 months. Yeah. Yeah. She'll probably release in like 4.6 or 4.7. So yeah, 6 months. 4 patches. We'll get beta. I mean, we somehow don't... how do we not have 4.3 beta yet? That's insane. I'm not gonna lie, that's kind of crazy. That there's no 4.3 beta yet. Like, this patch has already been out for like 4 or 5 days. How do your polls go? Normal. It was a like 80 pity 50-50 win for Silverwolf on this account. Very simple. One second. I'm back. My Silverwolf is E3. Should I go for E4? In my opinion, I just wouldn't bother unless you plan to go for E6. I just wouldn't bother. Like, yeah, the E4 is an upgrade, but like if you're not even gonna bother trying to get all the way to the E6, then no. I just spend it somewhere else, personally. You buying the Cassie skin? Nah. I'm not playing on this account that actively, guys. In fact, the only reason I relogged into this account to pull Silverwolf was because a bunch of people were asking me for it in my comments. Like, I wasn't even playing on this account. I can show you guys over here. I have Starlit Homecoming on this account. Because I've not been playing it. I've been playing on the Phanon account that you guys would know from recently. Hello. How many pulls did you have? Not much. I could swap Firefly E2 account for this in your dreams. 10 cost mono rem and 5 cost silver wolf team. And it's the beginning of the version. Not happening. Or do you mean like maintaining it? I don't know. I really just don't want to bother you, man. I already feel guilty that sometimes you just maintain my accounts and I don't even do anything back, so like are you gonna pull for Yao and Sparksy? I already have E1S1 Yao going on this account. I just don't have Sparksy. Well, like, if I was going to... I mean, I guess for now, it would be like E2 Silverwolf is the optimal investment. Before I even grab Sparksy. But Sparksy will probably matter more when Nihilux comes out, you know. So then it would be E2 S1 Silverwolf. Eventually Sparksy, E1 S1 Yao going in Nihilux. So, like... my Elation team would basically be the same cost as my current Mono Rem team. Like 9 or 10 cost by the end of the version. Nice, Verly. As for the golden token, I don't even know, man. I don't even have Welt on this account. That's just crazy, bro. No Welt. Though, okay. I've been wondering this for a little bit now. Is Blade... I feel like Blade might be bait. Now, I don't mean that in like a bad way, but like Cypher-esque, where like the character is really overrated on release because there isn't much competition and then they end up aging badly. This was my original prediction for Cypher. Because like, keep in mind, Welt is currently in like the top tiers of amping the team and he's a fucking standard character. If Blade's supposed to be a premium nihility who does something similar to Welt but like has a bit of damage as well. Like, I'm just gonna be honest, current leaks on Blade just sounds like a limited Welt. That's all it sounds like, right? He supports the team and every once in a while he'll do a little bit of damage with a follow-up, right? It's Tribi-esque, but as a nihility, like you're kind of competing against Welt. Like, what are his debuffs even gonna be to compete with Welt? Because, like, let's be honest, a lot of people are going to skip him if they aren't noticeably better than Welts. But if they are noticeably better than Welts, then he's going to shit on the entire current roster in terms of debuffing enemies, which is interesting. I'm very, very curious the direction that they're going to take with Blade. Yeah, 'cause literally, like, current Nova Welt is just very competitive to Blade. Nova Welt, although not great, can be ran a main DPS now, way better than he used to be. One of the top tier debuffers, has a little bit of sub DPS damage with some slow on the enemies. Like, he has his advantages. Like, he has good things going for him. So, like, how do you make Blade better than that? And enough to want to make people pull on him? I don't know. 80% defense ignore? Probably not. Since I think Ash Veil automatically puts 40 and defense ignore caps out at what, 100? And then Ash Veil's Light Cone also puts 20 down. I could see a mixture of like 40% defense reduction. You hit the 100% now, combined with Ash Veil S1 and Blade. Res reduction, yeah, that's kind of that's not out of this world. Res reduction, defense reduction, vulnerability, probably. Because I will say it was specified by the leakers when they were doing like small leaks about Blade's kit that specifically all of his like amping abilities is just debuffing enemies. So those are like the three main debuffs: vulnerability, defense reduction, and res reduction. They changed his S1 to vulnerability? Oh, I think they did. I might be thinking of one of the earlier betas for Ashvale. Wait, no, you're Light Cone. The Hunts. Yeah, it's vulnerability, you're right. So Blade could theoretically have 60% defense reduction, and it wouldn't overcap. It would hit exactly 100% with Ashvale. I don't. Nah. I think it's just too fat of defense reduction. I don't think they're gonna give him that. I don't know. I think there's gonna be like a little bit of a mix of everything, instead of just hard going into one debuff. Personally. Basically like a Tribby situation, you know? Like, Tribby has a little bit of vulnerability, she has a little bit of res ben. Double welt numbers and give them a Blade? I mean, that would just be disgusting. I don't know about double. Like, 40, 50% better? Yeah, I could see that. Hello. What if he allows you to get more than 100% defense reduction? Then it does nothing. Because more than 100% defense reduction does nothing. It caps out at 100. The way defense reduction works is it's an exponential increase. So like at the beginning, it's very, very slow. However, near the 100 mark, it ramps up incredibly fast. So if you were to make a character who can now break the cap of defense reduction, it would ramp up so insanely at some point where, for example, adding 10 or 20% more defense reduction would increase your damage by like 50% automatically. That's why there's a cap on defense reduction in this game. It just gets way too fucking strong. And it would only continue to get stronger. So you could reach a point where 1% defense reduction increase is like a 1000% damage multiplier. If you get far enough. I'm not entertaining this talk. It's dumb. Sparksy isn't getting replaced. There's literally nothing about Blade being a sustain from reliable leaks.
Reach out to me for Perlux Orbit.
Get him! If you want to keep going. Thank you so much for your help this time.
Chance of being Blade being a sustain is near 0, yeah. Lifesteal? I mean, he could. Blade was my original guess for one of the 2 sustains in this version, but like the recent leaks, Nihility. I mean, he could heal as a Nihility, I guess, but like, like a sustain who can heal, has max HP follow-up attacks, and likely has the greatest debuffs on enemies in the game on release. I don't know about that one, man. I don't know. Defense reduction? What about defense reduction? Sparksy Eidolons don't give defense reduction? What is the point of this argument? Sparksy's Eidolons massively help with punchline generation and more team damage contribution. I'm so confused. Why do you guys always do this, man? Oh. Yeah, at this point, Nihilux is just another Yao Guang, bro. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm not gonna go to war over it. Yeah, also, I do not think they have 100. How? I know this Lycone gives 20% defense ignore. That's it, though, right? Yeah, that's it. Cyrene does not have. Yeah, hers is true damage. Hyacine also doesn't have. Yeah, she doesn't. Lycone's vulnerability. This is 20%. This is 30%, so you're at 50%. Huh? Her field is res pen, not defense reduction. There's only 50%, dude. In a full E2S1 team for Cassie. Cass has defense reduction in E2? No. Castris is defense or sorry, no, not defense reduction. She doesn't have it in her E2. Her E2 is a gimmick E2, where it just gives her 30% charge after she uses an ult. That's basically it. Oh yeah, 2 more stacks of the breath on the dragon. That's the E2. Yeah, there isn't even close to 100% defense shred on this team with full E2S1. There's still the other half remaining. Maybe with like cast Lycone superimpositions and Evernight Lycone superimpositions. This would go up to 50%. This would go up to 30%, I think. So you'd be at 80%. That's still not 100, even with double S5 light cones. No, yeah, Phanon doesn't have it either. Phanon needs to have specifically defense reduction allies to be able to get it on enemies. Like E1 May, E4 Triby. I think E4 Triby has defense reduction if I remember correctly. Oh yeah, he does have E2 Sparkle. But I don't, maybe only on the double meteors, but not even consistently. And on a lot of meteors would he even get 100% defense reduction. It was an E2S1 comparison. I mean, you were saying E2S1 mono rem, and every E2S1 flagship team has 100% defense reduction when it's like not even close. I was confused. I was like, hold up. I literally have like I have a couple of these mono rem characters E2S1. I do not think they hit anywhere near 100%.
Thank you so much for your help.
Well, no, Phanon makes sense for Sustainless. Because, like, Phanon is, I mean, pre-Cyrene. You guys need to keep in mind, I am someone who is hard on Sustainless runs and Sustainless teams because they just fall off so easily. Like, let's say you're in 4.2, you need like 4 or 5 cost for an Elation team that's 0 cycle Sustainless. You're now in 4.8 and they need 7 or 8, or they need their premium team instead of that old Sustainless team because it just fell off that quick. Like, if you're not constantly upgrading this team with the best and most optimal vertical investment, Sustainless just isn't really something consistent, and it especially isn't something common for like the average player. Phanon is the only exception of any character in like the history of my channel where I've been like, yeah, like running this guy Sustainless should be normal because of Cyrene giving him a literal infinite ultimate where like he just never dies. But that's the only one. Like, anybody can run a Sustainless Phanon with Cyrene. It's so fucking easy. Break is an exception too. I wouldn't even say break. Like, I promise you, 99% of this game's player base, if they try to run a lower cost premium Firefly team Sustainless, they are dying. It's usually the combination of E2 Firefly with really good relic investment, with Dahlia, with Fugue to re-trigger the weakness and shit, like stuff like that. That's usually what makes the break team last, like, I don't know, 3 cycles maybe in Sustainless. But until you get to like that level of investment, like an E0 Firefly, you don't last that long. You don't last as long for sure. And then against harder hitting endgame content like AA, you definitely don't last that long. Definitely don't. I tried Sustainless Firefly at E0 and it sucks. Yeah, that's like, yeah. That's the experience for the majority of, you know, average Firefly players if they try Sustainless. It just flops. It doesn't work. This is why Phanon is literally the only one I like consider Sustainless on seriously. Because, one, he's the easiest DPS to buff in the entirety of the game. He doesn't have some bullshit gimmick where it's like, oh, I need a max HP increase. I need an elation increase. I need this. Like, no, just give me better buffs and you're going on my fucking team. Right? And then also has an infinite ult with Cyrene. He's like the simpleton DPS of 3.x. Have you been enjoying this patch? Bro, I haven't even played it. I just finished the 4.1 story on this account because I didn't play it during 4.1. I haven't done the 4.2 patch. I haven't done the events. I haven't even tried the new Divergent Universe yet. I've been fucking slacking. Sustainless is now normalized like a basis of gameplay. Well, the reason Sustainless is normalized to a lot of people is because a lot of the main HSR content is 0 cycles. And then the 0 cycles are obviously going to go Sustainless. Because if they run Sustain, they need like significantly more cost to make up for it. So, like that's kind of how it goes. I've talked about it before, but in my opinion, meta becoming this game's #1 topic of discussion by a mile in the last year was not for the better. In my opinion, it really wasn't. I mean, it makes me more money because like more people watch my videos without me really having to do anything, but yeah. Gabby's a LARPer. I mean, I just am still suffering from the after effects of my gacha burnout. And I'm like trying to like learn to play another game. Like I'm currently trying to get into this shooter called Valorant. I've been playing it for the last month and I'm like near hitting gold. So I'm like trying to hit gold, but I keep getting sold. Why do you think Nihilux will be better with a sustain than sustainless? Because it's so easy to buff Elation characters. It's the same thing with Yao Guang. Once again, I feel like it's just people are really underestimating how good Nihilux would be. You add in a speed buff, you add in one other Elation buff, you are Elation yourself, you have an Elation skill, you likely have your own ultimate, right? Your ultimate probably buffs allies as well. You have your own damage output. That's kind of normal for DPSs these days to have some type of damage. Like all of this alone would lead to probably at a minimum a 30 to 40% buff for the team. I imagine it's more. Probably like 50% team wide. But to just be safe, like 30 or 40%. And then this is like E0 as 0. Like, right? Like, this isn't with Lycone. This isn't with Eidolons, which you can definitely go into. Which definitely are going to have more shield verticals. I don't see someone being better than that. It's the same thing with Yao Guang, right? A lot of the reason why Yao Guang got Doom posting, oh, Sparkle is going to be better, because her pure amp is better than Yao Guang's. But then you ignore how well Yao Guang synergizes with Elation, right? Just being Elation and synergizing with this team is what carries her entire value for Silverwolf. If you remove Elation and Elation gimmicks from Yao Guang, she is dog shit. Okay? This is the best thing comparison I can make. Remove Elation from Yao Guang and just keep her res pen and vuln in her damage output. She is dog shit. No offense. She has some good SP positivity as a third slot support. That's it. That's literally it. She has no other value. But because she's Elation, because she synergizes with the Elation gimmicks, she is so astronomically clear of any other support option, it isn't even fucking close, right? Like, try and kick out Yao Guang for like a buff Sparkle in a Silverwolf team and suffer. Okay? Suffer. Just suffer, which is my point, right? Nihilux, in my opinion, does not need to do all that much to still be a considerable upgrade for the Elation team. And that's why I don't think Sustainless is going to be better. People couldn't envision the Elation skill spam? Yeah. Like, this is so people need to understand. Elation skills always have a reward on them for generating a resource for the team. Like, this is something common among every Elation character. This would apply to Nihilux. So she has an Elation skill with damage, generates some resource to benefit the team, or gives some buff. I don't know. Right? Probably has an ultimate that does something else, has her own base kit and her own buffing. She's Elation, so she synergizes with the team. Like, when you really look at it, right, even just the bare bones of what is likely guaranteed for the final piece of Elation, they're already adding a lot. They're already helping a lot. Even just a bare bones description, without really going in depth into an actual kit. It's so easy, man. It in my opinion, it's really easy. Triby Fallacy and Castor Oil team? Yeah. I mean, I tried to warn people back then. They did not believe me, though. I feel like, I don't want to make a video on it, because people are probably going to think I'm stroking my ego. But I think it's just the truth. Being good at 0 cycles in this game, unfortunately, has nothing to do with someone's ability to predict like future best in slots and like teams and Hoyo practices. I've kind of come to realize this. Like, I'm watching showcases from HOS when Sparksy comes out and Yao Guang, and he's like, oh, I have fucking no clue how Sparksy is supposed to be a sub DPS. I have no clue how, like, how is Yao Guang even going to matter that much for Elation, right? And it's also the same on Twitter, right? Like a lot of the misinformation that spread about Yao Guang came from like private server players who do zero cycles, just saying that they don't see a character like this being good in the future. EMZ is going to be better, this and that. But like people put so much faith into them because they zero cycle. But they're like constantly wrong when it comes to predicting character value and shit. Like it's insane to me. I don't know. I don't think I'm that smart. I really don't. But I just think the reality is being good at this game does not mean you are good at predicting character kits, value, and synergy. There's no correlation apparently. I guess it can help, but it just isn't enough. Because there's so much misinformation spread by zero cyclers. I cannot believe it. Like these are supposed to be the best players in the entire game at utilizing characters for getting clears. And they're like most of the time clueless. Well, yeah, I know. Like, zero cycling at the end of the day is something you can just build up from spamming on private servers constantly. And that's why the majority of the best zero cycle content creators are people who have taken advantage of private servers. You can spawn whatever relics you want. You can retry and go against any enemies you want over and over and over and over again. You can make the optimal scenario for yourself and replay it a bajillion times with whatever characters you don't have on your actual account, which automatically just gives you a fucking insane advantage over any other main player in the game. Like, for example, Mr. Pokey and Zolza probably have a similar amount of time playing this game in game, but Zolza could literally have double to triple more than that hours on a private server in comparison to Pokey. So there's like a way bigger experience gap than what you'd actually realize because of private server gameplay. Like, this isn't me throwing hate to Zolza or anything, but like, for example, sometimes I see people hitting on Pokey because he isn't that good of a zero cycler. He plays other games. He doesn't play HSR as consistently as he used to. And, you know, he just doesn't play as much. But like 99% of the time, they are comparing Pokey to people who have literally like lived on these fucking private servers. And they probably have 5 times his gameplay time on the game. So it's like, it's kind of incomparable in my opinion sometimes. I mean, Zolza kind of just made her channel off of quote-unquote bait content. She sometimes she puts a little of her own truths in there, like her genuine opinion. But she'll quite often be very over-exaggerative, because, I mean, that's just what gets the clicks, you know? It's free money. I even saw some comment from her where it was like, because it's Annie, and the game's traffic is really high currently, she's going to be making a lot of those bait videos, which is like, I mean, get that bag. Hey, get that bag. Go ahead. I don't really watch HSR gacha CCs anymore. I mean, it's more realistic to just say gacha CCs in general. I really don't watch them. I just upload a video on YouTube. That's the only HSR content I see, is me myself playing it. I used to watch Mr. Pokey decently actively.
Yeah. Like if I go to my home page, what will I get recommended? And I refresh it right now. Valorant, a Sino video about making Camellia pregnant, the recent Lakers game, leaks on skins in Valorant. Yeah. I'm not even getting HSR like recommend. Oh wait, no. I got Ruri Goko 3 hours ago. Seals 0 cycles king stage with sustain. But yeah, I don't really get recommended HSR content anymore.
Excuse me, can I have the bill?
Look at me! Betraying us. Just how is any...
I'm gonna be honest, bro. Oh my god, this. Okay, you guys might have seen my community post. This Wua collab banner situation is the worst thing that could have happened to me. Because I'm playing Wua on and off, which means I am getting a lot of like the radiant tides and the weapon pulls, but I'm not really farming the asterite. So I thought I was good, right? Like, oh, it doesn't matter. Like, I'm going to end up having enough pulls anyways by the time the collab banner comes to get Rebecca. Dude, I only have like 4K in asterite. A majority of my pulls are in radiant tides and limited weapon pulls. I only have 4K asterite, dude. I'm fucking cooked. I'm genuinely cooked. If that seal leaks leak is true. Oh my god, man. I just have to pray. Not very generous. I mean, I can't say they... Okay, I think it's scummy, but like the pull count they're giving recently is good. Like, it's really good pulls for an anniversary. If you don't care about the collab, like they're genuinely giving out some really, really good pulls. But as someone who literally only cares about the collab, like this is the worst case. You know what I'm saying? I'm someone who isn't playing actively, only cares about the collab. It couldn't get any worse. I'm the one that gets fucked over the most. I think the Nier Automata. Yes, but they aren't using the Nier Automata collab as a reference. Seal Leak specified that they're using PGR's Devil May Cry collab and their banner system as a reference for the Cyberpunk 1 and WoW. That's the reason why. Because if you are using the Devil May Cry banner as a reference, then that obviously changes a lot because it has a special currency. I mean, what makes Woo scummy is just their, like, and more to other games is probably Double Pawn's Matrix. But, like, and once again, in my opinion, the baseline strength of like new WUA teams is way worse than the baseline strength of new HSR teams. Right. So like I've always talked about this double standard. In a lot of these like open, this applies to Genshin too, by the way, right? This isn't just a WUA thing. If you clear with older characters and it's like premium team, 10 seconds left, people will praise the game for not having that much power creep. But if you get a 2 or 3 cycle in HSR, the unit's fucking doomed. You know what I'm saying? And so this is the only issue, right? WUA has worse vertical investments, and the baseline strength of teams is a lot weaker. But the same thing applies to Genshin, in my opinion, once again. Like, Genshin kinda has the same problem. Well, actually, Genshin has good 4 stars, though. That's what really separates it. Like, there are some 4 stars who are as good, if not better, than limited 5 stars. So the difference between the two isn't that high. I don't know. Well, yeah, what makes WUA... What makes people dog on WUA more than other gachas for things that exist in other gachas is just how fucking annoying the community is. Like, how much of a high horse they're on. WUA community has the biggest ego of any community I've ever seen in the gacha space. It isn't even close. It is filled, I can say this confidently, with the most pussies of any gacha community tenfold. Okay? Tenfold. Miserable. I fucking hate it. I've always drawn comparisons with the WUA community to One Piece, right? WUA was once my favorite. To be honest, it probably still is my favorite gacha. I just like HSR more because of the convenience. I hate the community for this game. I fucking despise it. One Piece is my favorite anime of all time. I stay away from the community for One Piece like it's the plague. Because I find them so miserable. They're so egotistical. They're constantly trying to compare their series to others to put other series down and make themselves feel better. It's literally the same. It's the exact fucking same. And keep in mind, I'm not saying that like these dickheads don't exist in HSR. They don't exist in Genshin. They do, okay? They do. But I'm saying, like, if you were to look at, you know, the proportions in comparison to the entire community base, WUA has been much worse, in my opinion. Like, for example, if I get HSR content recommended to me on my homepage, it is more likely to be meta content, talking about the new story, or criticizing the game, right? HSR criticism is probably the most common one, actually. If I get Genshin recommended on my homepage, it's likely something about the new patch, maybe as a Jeff video around the meta. You know, he found some new bullshit combo with TTDS. I don't even remember what that shit is. You know, it's stuff about the game, right? People who play the game, talking about the game. The majority of the time, when I get something WUA, actually, I should say used to, because I've blocked so many of these channels at this point from my homepage, it is tribalistic content and mainly criticizing other games. Until I started fucking shadow banning a ton of channels off of my YouTube so that I no longer see them anymore. So now my WUA content is definitely cleaner. But man, when I was first getting into WUA content, it's like 80% tribalistic content and putting other games down. And being like, oh, look at how much better WUA is. Saint, Gacha DG2. There's another one recently, which I also just got rid of, up and comer. Glaive Kyo. And then there's like way more that I just don't remember the name of anymore because it's been so long since I got rid of them on my homepage. Oh yeah, that Shy Guy High. Yeah, yeah, that one too. There's so many of them. There's so many of them. And they literally only exist because the biggest CC for Wuwa when it was first coming up was Tectone. Sane Tone Taz wanted to copy Tectone. Other people want to copy Sane Tone Taz and Tectone. And it's a trickling effect that leads to some of the most miserable fuckers in a community possible.
Thank you so much for your help
This is why, like, when Wua's last Annie was happening, a lot of people thought I was, like, forcefully making videos because of drama. Oh, you can make more money off this shit. I cannot begin to explain to you how much I hate drama and drama content. It is so insufferable, so miserable in this gacha space. I'd rather bang my head 10 times on my window than upload a video giving my truthful opinion wholly on Wuwa. Because keep in mind, to this day, I haven't made a single video that even covers 40% of my criticisms towards Wuwa, like I have for HSR in the past. And I do that purposefully because I do not want to deal with people in my comment sections being just annoying as shit. Yeah, I remember Tectone was saying something about like getting me on his gotcha cast, but like anybody who goes on that gotcha cast to argue with these intellectually dishonest morons, like you're just dumb. You fell for it, right? You fell for it, award. You're gonna go on there, trying to explain your points as objectively as possible, with an actual end goal in mind, just for them to do a bunch of mental gymnastics for 3 hours on your ass until you get so fucking tired that you give up and you just accept it, and then they will take that as a win and why they are right over you because you finally gave up trying to knock some sense into them. Like, the fact people didn't already realize this pattern back then, I was seeing some other gacha CCs genuinely go on this cast and accomplish fucking nothing. Like, what did you expect to happen? I mean, not CC. Mr. Pokey is like a gacha variety player at this point. Like, yeah, he's mainly HSR, but he does play Wuwa kind of on and off. He's similar to me, right? Like, I obviously main HSR, but I'll sometimes try some other gachas. My second main is Wuwa, even if I don't play it as actively as HSR. Mr. Pokey is kind of similar to that. Although I will say Pokey is definitely more of a gacha enthusiast than I am. Like, he gets into a lot of gachas. He got into Stellasora. He got into Epic 7. He got into Uma Musume. Like, I haven't even touched some of these games. He definitely likes gachas way more than I do. Yeah, I can understand with people having a bias for like their favorite game. I think what really ticked me off, it doesn't bother me as much these days, right? Like, obviously, you guys don't see me making videos on it like I used to fucking a year ago. A year ago, it really ticked me off because, like, dude, you guys will know, we were talking about this earlier today. I feel like HSR has like the opposite of glaze effect. You know, a lot of these mainstream gachas, they have the glaze effect for their community, where it's like, oh my god, Genshin, open world, animations are getting better, new region, they're improving the character interactions, the dialogues, the cutscenes, shit's getting more hype. I love Genshin, right? I play for the gameplay, not the polls. Wuwa, this is the best game, right? This is what finally forced Hoyo to start, you know, having some competition, putting a little more work and effort into the shit they do, blah, 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 blah. And then, like, ZZZ is like, oh, this is the best Hoyo game, right? Like, we have the best animations, the most expressive characters, some of the best designs, the most unique designs. HSR, it's like, let me tell you how much I fucking hate this game. Why this game is dog shit. It has the worst power creep. I've quit it a million times and I keep coming back. This is basically my alcoholic ex that keeps beating me and I keep... This is what... Bro, there's such an insane difference between the way people treat HSR and like the other mainstream gachas currently. Yeah, like Global Passive killed my family. Elation team is so predatory that I just fainted at the sight of it. Wow, this character is such an E2 merchant. I couldn't even get through MOC 9 in 30 cycles with Feint on at E0. Like, obviously I'm exaggerating, but like, you kind of get the point. I feel like HSR gets just so much fucking criticism, which is cool, right? I've said this before. I prefer HSR's more critical audience in comparison to the other games that are like more overly glazy. They both definitely have their flaws, but like at the end of the day, more criticism is better than over glaze in my opinion. But yeah, it still has its issues. Burp. Well, yeah, I have been seeing some ZZZ drama, but like, once again, it's mainly just targeted towards smaller things, in my opinion. Like, it's not really so much the game itself, but it's like, oh, you know, this design, I don't like it. I prefer older designs. Oh, I want, I don't know, more male characters, stuff like that. Like, it's more, how should I say this? Casual criticism, right? Like, it isn't going too in deep in the game. And I know ZZZ gets criticism for other shit too, like, oh, the reworked Shiyu defense is just more annoying than the old version. Power creep, shilling, Void Hunter characters are way better than everybody else. But that's kind of as far as it goes. The way they talk about it is pretentious. I mean, to be fair, I feel like HSR is pretty similar these days. Like, bro, half the tweets I get recommended of HSR, like, you could switch the topic from HSR to K-pop Twitter or Stan Twitter. I wouldn't know the fucking difference. I don't know what's happening. But I swear, like, the most popular HSR tweets that blow up recently, they just sound like Stan Twitter tweets. And some of them are so, like, they're worded so annoyingly that it genuinely just, even if I agree with the opinion, it just pisses me off having to have read it. Nah, Silverwolf is a lolly. You don't need to be a fucking like 9-year-old to be a lot. It has nothing to do with age. Silverwolf is the same body type as Yun Li and Huo Huo. Pretty sure. Actually, did they buff this model? Did they buff it like Dan Heng? No. This is definitely Yun Li's model. Yeah, that's definitely Yun Li's model. Yep. That's Yun Li's and Clara's model. Why didn't you pull Sparksy? Because I pulled E1S1 Yao Guang. I invested early. Fake Sparkle Simp? I mean, I fought on the lines for telling people that she'd be best in slot for Silverwolf. I just wanted to get the E1S1 Guang. Skipping Hayuki and Dania for Cyberpunk? Yeah. People calling HSR recycle rail because of SPs? I mean, it would make sense if they've never played any other Honkai game, because, like, dude. Like, I was looking at the new character releases for High 3, like, half a month ago or a month ago. Dude, they released a May SP, and then right after... No, they released a costume for May SP. One, keep in mind, there's multiple. And then they released Elysia, another version of Elysia. Like, their fucking third or fourth one. I don't know how many. It's just more in counting currently in High 3. Like, they just do this with their Honkai games. It's not even just an HSR specific thing. The only reason characters like Seal and Branya felt original in this game was because most people started off with HSR and not High Third or some bullshit. So it's like, oh, this game became fucking SP rail. Like, it was always SP rail. You know? Like, it was literally always SP rail. No offense. FGO has 100 sabers? Jesus. Yeah, there you go. I mean, if Blade is best in slot for Ashvale, then I will pull him on my Phanon account. I don't have anything against pulling SPs. It's just, if you're in my pulling plan at the time, that's all. Like, if you matter to my account. Like Sparcy, she's best in slot, but currently she doesn't matter enough to this account. So, I'm going to get Silverwolf. I'm going to get her Lycone. I might even get E2 down the line before I end up getting Sparksy. And then also Nihilux. Oh yeah, technically ZZZ has them with like Zombie, this new Billy, stuff like that. It's two though? Yeah, but they exist. And there's only going to be more going into the future. Like, I'm aware ZZZ is like. You guys need to understand. There is Honkai Star Rail, right? Honkai. It is connected to their previous Honkai games. So they're going to have Honkai characters, right? Zenless Zone Zero has zero fucking connection to any of the Honkai games in its lore or its title. So obviously they're gonna have more original characters in that game, you know? Like it you just have to accept it. This is a Honkai game. They've done this with they've done this with every Honkai game, bro. It's not going to be different in HSR. You're gonna get SPs constantly, whether you like them or not. Yeah, like Genshin. Genshin has no Honkai in it. Genshin probably has way more original characters than HSR does. Character for character. Because it isn't Honkai. Of course, there's like a few here and there. Like that one Void Hunter in ZZZ is very clearly like Elysia inspired. And what's it called? Like Raidame, the Archon Electro one from Genshin. That, I mean, that's obviously May. Like there's some inspiration, but they don't just make SPs and characters as blatantly as they do in the Honkai series in like Genshin and ZZZ. Even though Genshin has a connection with the Honkai series. Once again, there is inspiration in characters in multiple of the games, but none of them are as blatant with it as the games with Honkai in them, is my point. It's not that they don't exist, or that there isn't a couple examples. But there is just way more in these Honkai games. Genshin name was Honkai 4 in old beta. Well, clearly it isn't Honkai 4 anymore. It's pretty obvious that Honkai 4 is basically just HSR these days. I mean, they didn't call it Honkai 4, they called it Star Rail, but Genshin has a lot of XPs except Kevin and Elite. Oh my god. I'm just gonna drop it, man. Web event. I'm not doing this shit, bro. I don't care if you're giving me 5 pulls. I mean, dude, like, I'm gonna be honest, I've never done a web event for any of these gachas in my life. Like, what's even the point? $800 Jade. I get 1/18th of a 5-star pity, which I can still lose 50-50 to. Yeah, I'm good. Done the event? Nah, I'm good. Well, yeah, Loey. That's kind of obvious. I've talked about it before. Like, I don't think I've seen a single video on it, actually. Which is just fucking insanity. Like, if this were happening in ZZZ, if this were happening in Wuwa, this were happening in Genshin, I'd be seeing countless videos glazing. I haven't seen a single video glazing HSR for the 5 stars. Once again, the more popular videos around HSR's buffs and the 5 stars is like, well, I want more. I want better. You know? And it's like, yeah, I understand that. But man, this game has like such an insane light cast on it for criticism in comparison to anything else. I bet you Wuwa could give 2 5 stars a year. Still like a fraction in comparison to what HSR does. And there would be way more glaze for Wuwa than there would be for this game. It's just always going to be that way. I mean, I don't think it was at all made on purpose, but like, the Genshin devs do make a good point. Like, no offense. Once again, I feel like I always need to like stress this because people think me criticizing like Wuwa and especially its community, like mostly its community 95% of the time, is me trying to shit on the game or hate on it because I don't like the game. I like Wuwa. I probably like it more than HSR as a game. I like HSR more because of the convenience, right? Anyone can make Wuwa. I'm not saying the combat, but in terms of the way the characters look, in terms of a lot of that stuff, anyone can make Wuwa because they went the realistic route for anime characters. NTE, I've seen gameplay of Rewinding Cadence, a few other gachas are already having very similar looking characters to Wuwa. Genshin S characters in another gacha, I have not seen anywhere near as commonly. The open world, I haven't seen as commonly. The combat, I haven't seen as commonly. Like, they make a good point when it comes to not sacrificing the art style and the way they've built the game for better realistic graphics. However, I do think there's this is a little bit of truth inside of a bigger reason. The main reason why they don't push the constant graphical upgrades is just so people on older devices can keep playing, in my opinion. A lot of people may not be able to understand where I'm coming from, but this is very similar to the CSGO strategy, where this is like one of the top competitive games, has been at the top for just decades at this point. You can have what most would consider a potato PC and run CSGO on 200 plus FPS easily, right? Very cheap computer will run that shit on 200 plus FPS. And you can keep asking, right? Like, oh, why aren't you upgrading the graphics like a ton of these newer games with how much support you're getting and how much money you're getting? But like, a lot of people have grown attached to the way the game looks, and also it looking that way is the reason it has such easy accessibility. It's the same thing for Genshin. Meanwhile, Wuwa has upgraded its grass for like the 5th fucking time in the last year. I don't give a shit about your grass. I'm not a cow. I don't feed off of it. I'm in TOA or Double Pond's Matrix where it's a flat surface on the ground. Now keep in mind, I'm saying all of this and I fucking hate Genshin. Okay? I personally find Genshin to be way worse than Wuthering Waves. Like, I'm just gonna be dead honest about it. But you don't see me going out here fucking making a bajillion videos telling you about how much better Wuwa is than Genshin to me, right? Like, that just isn't a thing. I mean, I'm just tired of open world games. I'm tired of playing open world games, and Genshin probably has the worst exploration in comparison to the two, and obviously QOL. And as you guys would know, convenience is a big reason why I main HSR. So when it comes down to like convenience, also how often I'm able to attain characters, I mean, Wuwa just blows Genshin out of the water. It's not even close. Even in terms of power creep, like, at least for now, Wuwa is definitely better than Genshin. And then also, Wuwa is 3-man teams, while in Genshin, it's 4-man teams. So it's cheaper to form a team as well. Yeah, that's understandable, Verly. I think if Genshin added a skip button and they just made overworld exploration a lot quicker and better, maybe upcoming in Snezhnaya somehow, to like compete with Wuwa in some way, then maybe. But like even then, you just have to like you guys need to understand just how bad Genshin's pull count is. I could buy a monthly pass, right, every single month on Genshin, and I wouldn't be getting as many pulls per patch as I would in Wuwa as a free to play. Yeah, that's understandable, really. I don't understand why HSR has all the QOL and Genshin doesn't. I swear, like, the HSR devs recognize that this is, like, the convenience game. Like, they're aware of it. So this game just gets a stupendous amount of QOL upgrades, even if it doesn't really need it. While with Genshin, I imagine the Genshin devs think of themselves as like, oh, we're an open world game. We want you to enjoy the open world. We don't want to make everything so convenient for you that, you know, you skip over everything we've worked hard on. So they end up being more scarce, one could say, with the QOL upgrades. Because they think of themselves more as a game, kinda. Like an experience. Yeah, an experience is the best way I could put it. The Genshin devs think of their game as a higher level experience. So they don't want their player base skipping over shit, I guess. But it's like, here's the thing. From my experience, you know what I did in Genshin without a skip button? One ear out the other. I don't know what the fuck is going on. I'm just skipping. I'm fighting enemies. Skipping. Fighting enemies. It just takes longer for me to skip. Which means I'm more frustrated. You know what I'm saying? Is Sparks AE2 worth it for Silver Wolf team? Bacon hamburger. Totally different. I'll do a 100% story playthrough. Have a spreadsheet. Jesus. Yeah, I'm not that type of guy. To be honest, like, I kind of built up these tendencies myself with getting into speedrunning games when I was younger. Like, I did this with so many games. Even, like, mainly story ones, too. Like, if there was a mainly story game that had PvP, I wouldn't pay attention to the story at all. I'd instantly skip to the end game as fast as I could. Actually, now that I think about it, I've done this with every game I've ever played. I haven't given a shit about having fun. I've just wanted to get to the end game and be like near the best. And then when I accomplish that, I just quit. I've done that so many times. Wow. I'm just a fucking miserable gamer. I got E1 Silverwolf and 30 pity, E0 at 40 pity. Lucky, lucky, lucky. I mean, to be fair, a lot of you can tell the people who like didn't fully watch the live stream for that shit on Genshin, even though they said that about like the graphical updates and them wanting to, not have them be constant so that people can keep playing the game and keep the art style. They also said in the same stream that they are going to make some massive improvements in Snezhnaya when it comes to character designs and as well as character animations. The funniest part is like people who haven't watched the stream only saw that one part get like spread around and they didn't see the rest of it. So I've seen like a lot of just dumb takes on social media about it that wouldn't exist if they actually watched the live stream. Oh yeah, for sure. That's definitely one of the biggest issues when it comes to like these gacha games trying to tell a story is they kind of have to make a lot of dialogue kind of fillery, unless they're just gods at constantly making up new dialogue and getting the voice actors to perfectly present it every month and a half for a patch. Like, it's just so difficult, man. If you're trying to give your player base, like, I don't know, 5-6 hours of content in a new patch, I mean, that's a stretch in of itself. I mean, dude, it's hard. I imagine it's hard for them without adding some filler, dialogue. What's your relation Silverwolf cost? Currently 4, going to be 5 soon. Once I get her S1. I don't know. I think NTE was like, I think April 29th. I think. You already pulled Silverwolf? Yeah, I put it on a community post. I went like soft pity for it. It's right here. I'm missing the light cone though. I used the relic recon on her. Some stuff here and there. Huh? Wait. Is that normal? Oh, it isn't. She just literally has Eidolon +1 as the name of her first Eidolon. I was like, dude, I've never seen that before. Nice, really. Pull E2 Wolf. Brother. I mean, I'll do a little bit of light cone pulls. How many pity do I have? Like 30? 33. Damn. Tough. How's it going? Solid. Just trying to make myself stay awake just a bit longer so I can fix my sleep schedule. Oh yeah, I forgot the light cone banner is 10 hard pity less, which means the soft pity is earlier too. Thanks for reminding me. So I'm not that far off. I'm on like 37, 38 pulls. I'm like less than 30 pulls away from hitting the Lycone soft pity. No, Solus. Realistically, no. If above average luck, yeah. I don't know. Nah, Verly. 200 pulls? 200 pulls is, I believe, below average for guarantee. I mean, depends. With the pulls you get from the Annie until Evanesia's banner, maybe you can get the average for it, but it is still below average. Like, decently below average. 200 pulls to get an E2. I can get 100 more, then yeah. With 100 more, you could probably get E2 with average luck. S1, still below average. But just E2, yeah. Am I the only one who still plays Acheron dot team? You mean dot team with an anchor on it? Yeah, I used to play that shit too, man. Oh wow. Hot take, Wu was slowly being greedy. I don't know what's slow about it. I mean, they're greedy. Oh, really, really? Kuro is greedy since Zanny. Nah. They've just always been greedy. Like, you can make an argument because of the power creep from Lada over 1.x teams. You can make an argument because signatures started becoming very big jumps after Brant. What was Brant? 2.1 in Wuwa? I could be misremembering, but I think Brant was 2.1, and he was the beginning of like, oh my god, this signature is a 30 to 40% jump over other options. It's disgusting, right? And then Annie was probably the biggest jump in greediness to a lot of people, which is why they say the Annie, but like, it was definitely earlier. But once again, like, greed is just normal in gacha games. Like, that's the thing. It's normal. All gacha games are greedy. A lot are greedier than others, blah, blah, blah. But, like, they're all greedy. Like, they're just trying to get your money, dude. I mean, I just made a video about how disgusting of a scam guaranteeing a character is in these games. Even for some of the better ones. I mean, I will say, I don't know why, but HSR has definitely cut back, at least recently, on releasing 2 characters every single patch. 3.7, only Cyrene. 3.8 only Dahlia, 4.1 only Ashvale, and now 4.3 is likely gonna only be Blade. Which is pretty crazy.
Thank you so much for your help this time. Please continue.
Phanon technically had the fake collab banners. So it's 3 new characters, if anything, on one patch. Nah, it's okay, really. I might find it myself. I'm too tired right now, though. Also, the thing is, like, leaker reliability, I think, changes too much at times. Like, Full Stop Chan has been unreliable, then gone on a streak of being incredibly reliable for like a year, 2 years plus. Now they're having some flops again, so their reliability goes down. Like, the leaker scene just, it's all over the place, dude. Like, I don't even get it. Like, I truthfully, like, I've seen some theories from people that, like, some leakers get, fed misinfo and maybe a sprinkle of truth. Like, that kind of has to be the case. I don't know. I feel like that actually is the case. Because, like, sometimes you'll get a case of, like, a leaker will leak multiple things, and multiple things are correct, but then also multiple things are wrong. But it's like some things are so outlandishly correct. Like, for example, Ho and Robin, right? There was that one random ass leaker that said a bunch list of shit, including Ho and Robin for the golden token on the Annie. Almost everything else was wrong, but somehow they got Ho and Robin on the Annie right. Like, I don't get it. It just has to be that they're either getting fed misinformation or Hoyo is changing things just that quickly on the fly sometimes. So leaks aren't always fully accurate. Because keep in mind, like, this doesn't only happen to somebody. Like, this shit even happened to Anon Leaks. Anon Leaks made a leak that Sparksy's main role was a main DPS. And I was like, listen, I know you're reliable, but the way I'm reading this kit, like, on my videos, I can't agree with Anon Leaks. Like, everybody thought I just, committed a sin going against Anon Leaks. Because I'm saying Sparksy is a sub DPS. He's saying that she's a main DPS. 2 weeks later, he changes his leak to, oh, Sparksy's a sub DPS, actually. Like, they just be changing shit on the fly, I feel like. I feel like that was his interpretation. Yeah, but Anon is not someone who usually does... Like, he'll obviously have his own interpretations of things, but, like, he clarifies it these days. Like, he's been clarifying it for a while now, because people used to say that he was rage baiting when he was giving his opinions on, like, meta characters, I think, like, midway through 3.x. Like, I think he clarified on Cyrene before, and I can't remember the other time he clarified, but I'm pretty sure he clarified on Cyrene. Well, yeah, maybe still. I mean, leak testing is never fully accurate. I don't know why people put so much merit into that shit. A lot of the fuel for Yao Guang dooming was the early team tests for Silverwolf. Oh, every single team was Silverwolf used Sparksy, while every single team for Silverwolf didn't use Yao Guang, right? And I was trying to rationalize with people like the reason they're replacing, Yao Guang and testing it with EMC is not because EMC is better or competitive, but because they're literally just trying to test EMC in comparison to Yao Guang. People are like, "Oh, you're fucking coping, dude. EMC is about to absolutely dump on Yao Guang and ruin your Yao Guang agenda," or whatever they're trying to say. And then Yao Guang ends up being even stronger than I originally thought. Like, those beta tests don't mean fucking shit, dude. Like, I remember when people trusted the early beta test for Cassie that had My Day in it, and I had to deal with people on my channel genuinely believing that duo DPS with My Day was Cassie's forever intended team. And I was crashing out back then. I'm not gonna lie. I used to be a lot more openly annoyed at people back then. Bro, I had no fucking patience for it. People were like, "Dude, it's not that serious, bro." But I'm like, how can you possibly think this? Oh yeah, merrymaking and to be fair, I can understand merrymaking and base kit cope. Like, I understand it, but I kept trying to tell people this. Yao Guang is the one who introduced us into a new type of buffing damage, which is Elation. Right. HMC was the first one to introduce us to buffing Super Break. RMC was the first one to introduce us into buffing True Damage. But this time, it's a limited unit that introduced us towards a new buffing type. So, in my opinion, this makes this character the EMC upgrade. But a lot of people didn't like that line of thinking from me. But it was correct. It was correct, as I always am. I think the new release schedule is a failure. The pre-sale strat, people are confused. Yeah. Yeah. I'd agree. I think selling DPS first and then releasing supports later so people can see if the support value is good to them is better. But I've talked about this before. I think the changes to the way they sell these teams are because of Evernight and Anoxa. They're tired of like, oh, we made this character over half a year ago. The power ceiling's gone up significantly. We don't only want to make this character work in one team, so let's give them a second one. And then the what should be, right, the side team that isn't their best team is their best team. Anoxa main DPS is better than Herta sub DPS, and Evernight main DPS is better than Cassie sub DPS. So it's like, now they can fully make sure, like, for example, Sparksy main DPS, I'm pretty sure was better than Silverwolf when she first released in her beta, right? Like, this is exactly what they're fucking scared of. Accidentally making sub DPSs way better than they intended to the point where, like, the main DPS isn't needed. So people don't care about the main DPS as much anymore. That's just them being dumb. You'd think that, but, like, trust me, I imagine balancing a lot of these HSR kits and fixing all the bugs in them, and you know, accounting for all the synergies that could possibly happen with literally every character in the game and constantly testing everything. Like, they do a lot, probably more than you'd realize. But it's just that some things slip through the cracks in this game, and there's not much you can do about it. There's so many different buffers, there's so many different synergies. Things just happen.
Thank you so much for your help this time.
They can just keep the multipliers low. It shouldn't be that hard. Yes, but now, if you nerf the other team option too much, people are going to call you out for it. You know? Like, that's the thing. They are trying to find a balance where, like, yes, this character has a best in slot team. But, for example, if you nerf Sparksy multipliers, you don't only nerf her own main DPS team, you also nerf the main team, right? So it's like, are you now going to make Mono Elation weaker than Mono Rem? Because you don't want Sparksy's strength to get out of hand. You know what I'm saying? That's the problem. They are trying to achieve a perfect balance as best as they can among like two different team options without having to nerf the main team, which is just incredibly difficult. So, here's the thing. In my opinion, they have found the solution. And the solution is to just make a team and a path so gimmicky that they're broken as fuck in their best in slot team, but they can't be broken outside of this team because other characters cannot take advantage of this buffing, they cannot take advantage of these gimmicks, they cannot contribute towards the team. That is literally Elation. That's what Elation is. Yao Guang is a fucking mammoth of a character in terms of value for Elation teams. Outside of Elation teams, nobody gives a shit. Respectfully. Nobody cares about Yao Guang at all. I mean, that too, Verly. The other thing is, right? Like, yeah, Verly, you can make the argument of less sales on initial release, but I've also brought this point up prior. Them releasing Yao Guang and Sparksy when they did in 4.0 means they can rerun Yao Guang and Sparksy in 4.3. Like, the patch right after the Annie, when both Evanesia and Silverwolf have released. So now people do have 100% confirmation of how valuable these characters are for Silverwolf, and they will pull on the rerun. So in my opinion, like, either way, they end up making just as much money, and if anything, they might have ended up making more somehow. I don't know. But Pearl, but Nihilux, yeah. The Pearl shit has never made sense to me, genuinely. Like, the Pearl shit was conjured from like hopes and dreams. There isn't a single leak at all, anything about Pearl being Elation. Like, Pearl being Elation and the propaganda has genuinely spread like fucking everywhere. Even my cousin, right? This guy barely interacts with anything HSR related. And he's like, oh, isn't Pearl going to be best in slot for Silverwolf? Like, dude, where the fuck did you get this from? Oh my god. I mean, that's been my guess for literally this entire version. My guess has been that Pearl is part of Himiko's team. It could be a data mine thing? No. The data mine for Pearl had her as a preservation, but according to Anon, she's been changed off of preservation and she's now something else that nobody's aware of. So, literally no data mine about being Elation.
Excuse me, can I have the bill?
Alright, chat. It's finally 5 in the morning for me. This is a perfect time for me to call it. Thank you all for hanging out. My voice is fucking dead, if you couldn't tell. Have a great day.